Welcome back, boys. This is another quick video about the double game weeks coming up. So it has been announced that game weeks 24 and 25 will have double game weeks in it. Now you're probably wondering which teams are going to have double game weeks, which teams have the best game weeks leading up to it. This is the video for that. I'm going to go over all of that information, pick the best 6 teams that have the best game weeks coming up, rank them in order, so maybe you can get some of those players in stack load now. I'm going to cover from game weeks 23 to game weeks 27. So it's the prior game weeks all the way to the double game weeks, all the way outside of the double game weeks. Prepare in advance. That is my advice to you guys. Don't just be aiming at the double game weeks and thinking a 1-2 week. Try to build a team heading into those weeks so you don't have a massive fucking dip. You're going to have a wave going. You're going to prepare early, boys. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. They are the key words. That's the thing you want to be focusing on. So let's jump right into this video. Alright, so first up is Burnley. Team with the best points. Now I have ranked all of these here in difficulty points. So the lower the difficulty, the lower the points. The higher the difficulty, the higher the points. Very simple, complex. Now, by my opinion, Burnley has probably the simplest run from game week 23 through to game week 27. Game week 23, Brighton. Then into Crystal Palace and Fulham in their double. And then West Brom. So those 4 games alone are brilliant. Then they back it out with Spurs and then Arsenal. Now, I know those last 2 games are a little bit more tricky, but those first 4 are brilliant. Burnley have been in decent form, tough to break down, tough to get through, still struggle going forward, but in terms of defensively, they are very good. Now, who should you bring in? Nick Pope, and then what's his name, Woods and Barnes. They're the 3 guys that you could be looking to bring in. Alright, mainly aim for your defence, so Nick Pope will probably be the goalkeeper that everybody jumps on, because those 2, Crystal Palace and Fulham, you know, they're not terribly difficult games. They should be keeping somewhat clean sheets. So that's my advice though for the first one. Burnley, first round, they have the best double game week, good 4-week block. Try to squeeze a couple of Burnley players in there and you're going to benefit from it. Worst case scenario, you get 2 90-minute games, you get 2 points there, and they're probably cheap. You're going to find that none of those Burnley players are going to be excessively expensive, so you're going to be able to, if you're looking for someone from the double game week to slot on in, Burnley's a good choice. Now, next up is Southampton. Now, obviously, we all know what happened to Southampton against Man U. Now, I believe, and we all know, that's kind of an anomaly there. We don't expect that to happen frequently. Although, that does seem to happen once a season at the moment for Southampton. But, Newcastle, Wolves, and then the double game week of Chelsea, Leeds. That's 4 good games right there. The Chelsea game, tough game right now, obviously, because changeover from manager, the team's sort of starting to figure shit out. They've got 3 games, clean sheets or something like that. They're not easy to defeat, but having a backup game of Leeds in there, which are easily opened, is brilliant. So obviously your boys going into these game weeks, Newcastle are pretty straightforward. You're going to bust through them. Wolves can bust through their defence. Leeds, you're going to be able to get through them. And then after that, you got Everton and Sheffield United. So my advice, if you're looking to bring in anyone from Southampton, I'd be looking to bring in your front boy, Danny Ings. Che Adams, Danny Ings, they're your 2 guys. If you really want to be an out there pick, maybe go for your Ward-Prowse, but your midfield should, like my midfield and anyone else's midfield, should be stacked full of players that are performing and are cheap. So trying to jam another midfielder in there is going to be a difficult task, but we're all looking for a forward and a forward line that's consistently firing. So your forward line might be looking like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Danny Ings, and then Patrick Bamford or Ollie Watkins or Antonio, something like that. That might be the forward line you're looking for. But yeah, so I have Southampton ranked in the 2nd place in terms of their fixtures. Third on the list is the boys Leeds. Now these guys are powerhouses when it comes to scoring goals. They're also powerhouses when it comes to conceding them. So their run is looking like Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Wolves and Southampton in the double game week, then Aston Villa and West Ham. Now granted, none of those games are excessively easy. All of them will be tough. Crystal Palace will be a tough game. Arsenal, very tough game. Wolves won't be easy. Southampton obviously is going to be goals in that game. Aston Villa and West Ham, both tough teams, both in good form, both should get points. But what you will expect from Leeds is them to score. So what am I saying to do? With a double game week of Wolves and Southampton coming up, you're definitely going to be looking for your attacking threats. So your Bamfords, your Rafinhas, and your Dallases. They're your three guys you should be trying to get, or at least one of those three, into your team. If you're looking to kind of double up and get that double game week thing going for as strong as possible, I would be trying to get Danny Ings and Bamford in your forward line together. That there could be real good points right there. You know, if you can have, say, 2 games from Southampton where Danny Ings bangs in, 2 goals, and then Bamford bangs in 2 goals, that's a pretty fucking good return for your forward line. And double game weeks plus some points, maybe an assist, like we've seen Bamford getting some assists. You know, so that's, for me, that's where I'd be aiming for the Leicester players. Next up on the list is Fulham. Now, these guys have consistently gotten better as the season's gone on. Now, they do have a double game week in game week 24. So, this is where things get a little bit more tricky. You know, the guys previously were talking in game weeks 25, other than Burnley. So, your Southamptons and your Leeds were in the 25, Burnley were in the 24. Now, if you can manage to kind of double up and have double game week players in 24 followed by double game week players in 25 without having to make too many drastic changes, you could be in with a good shout. Fulham are one of those teams that's going to help you with that. You know, if players that I'm looking to bring in is obviously their forward lines, Mitrovic, Lookman, those kind of guys. So your attacking threat, but you also might be able to slot in one of their defenders and for the cheap, have a backed up defender, maybe on your bench if you're looking to bench boost, something like that. Their fixtures aren't too bad. West Ham, Everton, and Burnley in the double, Sheffield, Crystal Palace, and then Liverpool in 27. Now, take out the Liverpool game at the end, really the only tough ones is the West Ham and the Evertons. Now, they should beat them, but we both know that Everton and West Ham are prone to not being able to break down teams that sit back defensively. So maybe Fulham pull off a snatch and grab, a Lookman goal or a Mitrovic goal or someone up front. I'm not sure exactly who their key starting striker is, I'd have to look into it, but I'd be looking at maybe bringing in a single Fulham player. I wouldn't be bringing in 3, I wouldn't be bringing in 2, just one single player, maybe sitting him on your bench. Lookman's definitely the standout player for that. So look into their fixtures, see who their best players are, maybe bring in 2 if you really want to bust your balls, but Lookman would be the guy that I'd be recommending to bring in. Next up is the one that everybody is thinking about, and that is Man City. Now, they definitely do not have an easy run. They got Liverpool in 23, Tottenham in 24, Everton in the 24, Arsenal, West Ham, and Manchester United. This here is the run that will define the championship. I'm telling you right now, if Man City can navigate Liverpool and Tottenham and Manchester United, the league is theirs. They've won the league. I'm calling it right there and then. Now, what does this mean for your FPL team? Now, a lot of people are going to try to navigate around the Liverpool-Man City team. Now, I'm going to tell you the opposite. Bank on Man City. I do not see Liverpool winning this game unless some miracle happens. And I'm the fucking Liverpool guy. So, bank on Man City. I would be tripling up on Man City even in game week 23, because when you walk into game week 24, you're going to have Spurs and Everton. They're both tough games, but Man City will win both of those games, especially after just beating Liverpool. If, for some fucking miracle, Liverpool beat Man City, still triple up on Man City players in game week 24. I know they've got the toughest fixtures on the paper in the double game weeks, and I know that they're one of the toughest for the next 5 rounds, or what are we, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, 5 rounds. I know that's tough, but they are in seriously good form. KDB's on his way back in. Gundogan's outperforming himself. Sterling's starting to bang in goals. Jesus is back in the team looking fit and sharp. You've got your back line of Stones, Diaz and Cancelo just absolutely tearing it up. And then you've got Edison in goals, keeping clean sheets. So, what my point is take your fucking pick, really. Gundogan and either one of Stones, Cancelo or Diaz are almost a must. And then it's up to you. Take the next pick. The third choice is either a Sterling, a Jesus, or double up on your defense. It's really up to you how you want to do it. My advice though, do not try to play the Pep Roulette and picking the Fodens or the Mahrezes or the Bernardo Silvas or anything like that. They're too hard and too flaky. Pick the guys that you know are going to start or going to at least get minutes and you're going to get consistent points out of it. If you miss a Mahrez that comes on in 20 minutes, bangs in a hat-trick and gets 25 points, so be it. But who knows, he might not even fucking come on. So pick the guys you know are going to start. Alright, so triple up, my advice, triple up from Liverpool because you will get points against Liverpool. I promise you that. And the final team for the double game weeks is Everton. Now, they've got the toughest run in the sector. Man U, followed by Fulham and Man City in the double. That's a tough one if you've ever seen one. Liverpool, Southampton, Chelsea. Now, there's a standout game in there, obviously, and that's the Fulham in the double game week. So, my advice to you, if you have Dominic Calvert-Lewin in your team, keep him in your team. I'm expecting Man U to beat them. I'm expecting Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea to all beat Everton. Granted, Southampton may, it's a 50-50, but Fulham won't. I don't believe Fulham will. So what I'm saying is keep Dominic Calvert-Lewin in your team because they are a threat going forward. They are a threat from the crosses. So when these kind of big guys come out to play, they will get a chance to break. They will get down the wing, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin is particularly good in the air. So, especially against the Liverpool, where we can't defend anything in the air at the moment, you're probably going to get yourself a goal. Now, Man U, Man City, probably not. So if you don't have him in your team, I would not be looking to bring in Everton players for the double game week. Bring in the other guys that I've mentioned. But if you already have Calvert-Lewin in your team, it's fine. Leave him on your bench or put him on the field and risk him for the double game week. It's up to you. But don't be trying to scramble him out. He's not a terrible choice. But if you have any other Everton players, Pickford, Keane, who else we got? Who else would you have in your team that's from bloody Everton other than Pickford, Keane, Sigurdsson? You know, any of those kind of guys, maybe Rodriguez still hanging around. If you've got any of those guys, try to move them out of your team prior, alright? Because you don't want them in your team. They may do something in a game. Who knows? But I'm expecting them to get pummeled across this board. And that will really hurt Everton's run in. So I hope that's helped a little bit. It's a bit of kerfuffle, a lot of information and a lot of random names thrown out. But look into these fixtures. I figured I'd put them on paper, put them in front of you so you could have a look at them. Have a look who you think's going to perform. I've rattled off a few names for each one. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea as to which ones are going to perform, maybe which players to go for. So hopefully this helps. Look forward. My point is 23 to 27. Don't just prepare for 24 or 25. If you've got a wild card, use it. Now, 23, use the wild card. So then 24, you can bench boost or triple captain or do something, alright? That is my tip to you. Alright, otherwise I'll see you in the next video and good luck with your week.